Hi, this is our financial update for the end of November, beginning of December 2029. Let me start at this. America is $32 trillion in debt. But human beings, include naturally, me being a human being, we have a hard time understanding large numbers, we have a hard time understanding time, and we have a hard time understanding exponential growth. So I'd like to just take a moment to explain to you what $1 trillion is. $1 trillion is 1 trillion meters is the difference between the Earth and the Moon. $1 stacked up by ones, if you constantly stack them up, it will go to the Moon and back twice. If you spent $40 a second for 289 days, you would spend only $1 billion. The numbers I gave you are about 1 trillion. We are 32 times that in debt. What's going on right now is there is a yield curve inversion that's been going on in the economy for over a year. What a yield curve inversion is when people think they have more confidence in the long term of America's yields or bonds, they tend to buy longer distance, longer time bonds like 10-year bonds. When they have less confidence, they buy short period bonds, which are 2 year notes. What's happened over the last, say, year and a half is people have bought less short-term stuff than long-term stuff, which tells you that people are not that confident in long-term U.S. treasuries. That's not good news. One of the reasons that happened, it is good news, is that they've recently released, and there should be a lot of money in this, Novo released a weight loss drug, which is really taking off, or starting to take off right now, and it's supposed to be useful for reducing weight, lowering cholesterol levels. There may be some risk of heart attacks involved with it. Eli Lilly also came out with something similar to that, which is more directed toward type 2 diabetes. That's just a point of something going on out there. The consumer price index this month was pretty decent. It was actually 0.4, which means that inflation seems to be starting to come down. There's something called the federal funds rate. Why that is important? The federal funds rate is the rate that banks lend each other overnight. And the reason why that's done is because there may be a night where there may be more withdrawals at one bank where they need to make sure that their reserves are enough that they can open the next day. So that's what the federal funds rate is, and that's been pretty high. It has reflection upon the prime rate, and the prime rate is the rate which a bank will lend its best customer, and that was 8.50 at this point in time. Mortgage rates are 8%, they've been up there, and inflation, as we said, has been pretty much under control, at least for this short duration of time. What happened this week, President Biden met President Xi in San Francisco. They said the meeting was fairly successful. They said there were discussions about an open connection for military purposes, sort of like in my day they had something called the Red Phone, which was connected to the Russians during the Cold War era. So for those on Social Security, the COLA, cost of living expense, was announced. It's going to be 3.2%. However, the Medicaid allotment that you're going to be paying next year is going up $9.80. So it's almost like a switch there. You're out of one pocket and into the other. The strategic petroleum reserves are still at a low. The president has not begun to refill them, although that his commitment to us was that between $67 and $72 per barrel, he was going to begin to refill our reserves. That's not happened yet. All this confusion is just making things easier for the Russians. Speaking of the Russians, Putin's budget was approved, so they're just pumping more money into the war against Ukraine. Also, Stellantis, the car company that came to agreement with their union, has announced that they're going to offer buyouts to half of their white-collar workers. So they're just going to they're going to get their costs down by reducing their workers who are not unionized. We have reached a level that 2.6% of the federal funding now is debt service. That's $685 billion a year we are paying just to service our debt. Europeans have done some more restrictions on methane emission. The housing market is slowing a little bit. It's the slowest it's been in 14 years. The Moody's investment, one of the people who do ratings, is beginning to look at a downgrade here in America. And the final piece is the news on NVIDIA. The stock has begun to weaken. There are certain items that are not going to be exported to China. So that's it for the week. If you got something out of it, please give me a thumbs up. And please subscribe and have a great day. Bye.